Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another day, another episode of 30 NSG. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about a couple of Sony different stories. There's a patent for Sony, a new device that they might be augmenting reality glasses for Sony. We're going to talk about Warner Brothers' discussion for volatile AAA console games and what their plans are in the future, which they kind of already stated last year, but they're reiterating it now, and people are kind of like losing their minds about it. And then we're going to talk about MLB The Show 24. I saw this video yesterday about those of you that maybe not know, and MLB The Show made a video. Now, as I saw it, I was like, what the hell is this? I almost lost it. But then I got my thoughts together and stuff. Still don't agree with it, and I'll tell you why. But they're putting women inside of MLB The Show. And again, video games are video games, but we'll have that conversation when we get there. If you like what we do here, we just cover news stories, have conversations, and then we have, little dialogue back and forth. We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to about noon Eastern. If you like what we do here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, you become a member as little as $5. We do live streams, we do uploads, we do podcasts, we do gameplay. If you missed it last night, we talked about, or we played Expedition, the new game from Mudrunners and SnowRunners, developer Saber Interactive. So they came out with a new game. We played it last night. I like it. A little slow, different than SnowRunners, but I am enjoying it, and we'll play more of it on stream and off stream as we go on throughout the year. What's going on, Stealth? What's going on, Wonder Rose? Z, Akuda, Kylo, what's going on? Good morning. What's going on, Big Mo? First thing I want to show you guys, I came across this just a couple of minutes ago. It looks like it was from yesterday, so maybe they fixed it. But I thought this was funny, right? People complain about how broke, buggy, and unfinished games are that have come out nowadays, and that no game in the past is ever flawed in any way, shape, or form. And then I come across a post of Destiny, and Destiny's built-in instant loot glitch today. Legend/Master Lost Sector is completely broken right now. It's auto-completes after you load in and gives you rewards. So those of you that don't know this, get on over there, get your free rewards. And this is a game that's been out for a decade, having problems like this, which is always wonderful, right? Always wonderful. People want to give crap to games that come out right now that have problems. That's a game that's been out for 10 years and having technically the same issues that it's had months and months and years ago. So go figure. What's going on, Water? What's going on, Dolphin? I just thought it was funny. I was just like, man, everyone gives crap to some of these other live service games. Already got fixed. Shit got patched within minutes. Still, the fact that it made it to the game, and I'm sure lots and lots of people hit it up for it. Wait, people are still playing Destiny? I think so. Don't look at Steam charts though. Don't look at the Steam charts though, because if you look at the Steam charts, it might be. I haven't looked at the Steam charts. Let me see what it is. It's still 55,000. 55,000 people are still playing. So even when the internet says Destiny's dying, it's 55,000 people are playing. So you guys see what they're doing for Helldivers? I don't know if it's real or not, but they're adding meteor showers and fire tornadoes on planets and stuff. I don't know if it's true, but it'd be pretty badass if it is. They patched it as soon as the tweet went up. Well, that's amazing. It's a good thing the tweet went up. Otherwise, they wouldn't have known. See, this is another thing, right? This is another thing. content creators and social media has ruined people having fun, right? Because it's like a tattletale. Like, Timmy's poking me, stop it, right? Like, if they didn't tweet it, how long do you think it would have lasted? Do you know what I mean? Because someone makes a video, they nerf something. But if no one made that video, how long would it have went? I would assume they could, Lurker, because everything in the game can kill everything, right? So if a NPC bug is in front of a spitter, right, the bile, and the bile hits them, it kills them as well. So I would assume that it does. Ron Slusher says, if Xbox is dead, why is there another showcase? I don't know. 5 extra minutes? I don't know, Krebsy. They probably won't even know it was in the game if someone didn't tweet it. You know what I'm saying? Because how would they have seen it? I think if people wouldn't have made the tweet, it would have been taking them longer to become aware. Yeah, I think perhaps hours, if not a day. Because remember, with a live service game, we are the testers, regardless how old the game is or whatnot. When they put something out, someone could forget one piece of code when they implement it, and it completely screws something up. So if no one announced it, it probably would have been in there for quite some time. I just find it funny. All right, let's talk about Sony's patent could lead to AI game streams. Okay. We got 2 Sony stories. Recently published a patent from Sony could lead to implementations of form of video game streaming based entirely on AI. Okay, Sony has filed a patent for technology that would facilitate AI video game streams that react to viewer feedback. This technology may be related to other related publicized patents from Sony, which aim to leverage AI to engage with users and respond to input data. AI streaming, though, not something that Sony has tapped into before now, isn't entirely a new concept. Notable examples of AI streams, Vandal987 was also known as Nero Sama, who made a splash on Twitch earlier last year. Viewers have responded to streams with a combination of shock and disbelief, as many of them, while noticeably inhuman, are rather lifelike and believable. This could be especially true with AIs are paired with typical VTuber or virtual YouTuber trappings, such as full CGI avatars, and as these leave more room for plausibility and interpretation. So Sony continues to push experimental technology, with patent describes a framework for AI streaming. According to the patent, this framework would allow AI players to react or interact with the game and have the gameplay streamed through a network where it can then be viewed by one or more spectators. The AI player also incorporated machines learning to model its in-game behavior, and after the human players, it may also analyze feedback data and adjust the behavior accordingly. Other key parameters outlined by the patent include analyzing feedback data to determine level of spectator interest, gathering training data for spectator feedback, gathering input data from user microphone or camera, and performing facial analysis based on data received from a camera. That sounds interesting, right? Remember when Microsoft said that the Kinect would be on top of your box and everyone freaked out about it and said, "There's no way you're looking at me." And now, a decade later, lots of people have cameras in their houses, on their computers. Hello, right? And now they're free-willing to do it. And, they'll make sure that they get all the data they need. So all these companies are the exact same, right? So Sony's AI streaming tech could have wily ramifications, okay? It says if the lines between AI streamers and VTubes on Twitch are already becoming blurred, and the technology outlined in Sony's patent would mark a dramatic change in how these streamers function, specifically the methods of data collection and interest analyzed. If executed to their fullest potential, could lead to streamers that also tailored and countless distinct demographics. Since AI streamers can theoretically stream 24/7 and have countless permutations based on viewer feedback, this technology could have a massive impact on streaming as a whole. Well, good luck to everybody. Good luck to everyone that's a streamer out there on Twitch and YouTube. You have AI to deal with. Streaming is bigger than ever, but most dedicated Twitch fans follow specific creators because of their personalities, as they connect to the person behind the screen. With that in mind, it's hard to imagine a world where AI streaming supplants traditional human-based streaming. And then again, the exploration of the AI has led to some unexpected consequences, so perhaps Sony AI streaming tech will take off. So this is interesting, right? So how many people, right? And all these rules that are changing, like, so for instance, streaming on YouTube, to have AI, you have to notify that what's AI, right? Steam inside games, what is AI created and whatnot. It'll be interesting to see if Twitch does any kind of stuff, because now think about the possibilities with AI that could basically be everything. Now, again, this is already happening. I forget what her name is. She does the VTubing stuff where Koei, what's her name? I forget her name. I apologize. But she broke ground years ago. Very super popular Twitch streamer, where she has the whole virtual setup, and her character interfaces, and people know her, but they also know her avatar, right? And it's a whole new market, basically, because people that don't want to be their face on the actual camera, or they can be whoever they want to be. They could be a furry, they could be a fox, they can be a bird, they can be their favorite character inside their video game. They can all do what they want. Even Miller, when he was on the podcast, he did, you know, the character where anyone can be anyone they want. So it's interesting to see that Sony has so many patents between games, playing games for themselves, collecting data. What else is going on? Call centers to help you get through the game. Games complete themselves, giving you hints inside games. All of this stuff is what Sony's trying to do. And it's amazing to think where gaming is going, right? Just imagine that the game itself right now could be collecting all the data that it needs, and now there'll be a streamer who's not real, that you think is real, that is also taking your data and feedback based on how long you watch, or what you're watching, or what it is, and when you type something, what it engaged with. So if someone was fighting some sort of boss and Sony patent detects this, it knows that all the views that are interacting at that time, it likes this at this very moment, and it takes that data directly in and gives them all the feedback they need. So now they know what type of games they can make, or what's the best parts of the game. You know what I mean? It's different right now because they just make a game, see and watch what the viewership is and whatnot, and what the interest is. But they could literally get it down to the detail of what part of the game, what part of the stream was the most exciting part, and instant data, and then analyze that, and then give that feedback to their gamers or developers for the next game they want to come out with, and be like, well, you got to make this game very, you know, this is the most people gotten involved in, or this is when the viewership was the most highest, right? So it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward with Sony with this particular patent. Give movie games a new meaning? Yeah, right? Humans had a good run, Water says. This is all great. When do you want to play a game yourself? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I made fun of Black Desert Online when we played it back in the day. I was like, so wait a minute. I don't have to do anything? Like, you accept the quest, it runs to the quest, it does the things, it fights for itself, and it runs back to the thing. And I'm like, what am I playing? Right? Even Marvel Future Revolution, when we played a little bit, it just kind of fought itself. Right? It would go through the actual motions of what, you know, with the timers. Heavy attack, weak attack, super attack, move, dodge. It would do all this stuff. It's like, who's playing? Be good for grinding? I guess, but is that really a game, though, then, Ghost? You know what I mean? Like, you're not playing. Yes, it's grinding, but then you're not even playing the game. It's sort of like in the background being a farmer. Right? That to me is not really a fun game. You're not even engaging with the game. Right? Then it goes on to Sony appears to be working on an augmented reality glasses for the PlayStation 5. Some new evidence suggests that Sony is working on a pair of AR glasses that would help PlayStation 5 turn physical surfaces into mixed reality playgrounds. Okay. Some newly surfaced patent documents, right, another patent, Sony's got a lot of patents, suggest that Sony may be working on a pair of augmented reality glasses that could delegate the bulk of processing from the PlayStation 5. While there's no guarantee that the company will ever release such a PlayStation 5 gadget, it's already come up with some specific and potentially high entertaining uses for it. Although Sony has been maintaining a commercial presence in VR gaming since 2016 when it launched the PSVR, the company has yet also extended ambitious of AR space. Even so, recent years have seen an uptick of Sony's patent actively preparing to augmented reality technology, suggesting that the company could be getting closer to commercializing such solutions. I remember when the PSVR 2 came out and everyone was psyched for it. I said it's a niched market. It's not going to do very well, and it didn't do very well for them. Hence why they're moving the PSVR 2 over to PC so they can get more interaction with it. But, you know, each their own. The latest evidence testifying that the trend comes in form of newly secured Sony patent describing the pair of PlayStation 5 compatible AR glasses that also would help users turn tangible substrates into mixed reality playgrounds. The accompanying documentation reviewed by Game Rant describes the application in which the player curls a piece of paper, then into 3D map by the glasses, and consequently turned it into a dirt bike racetrack. Another use case mentioned in filing describes a platforming level made from a folder paper. Okay, and the technology could also combine multiple substrates into virtual playgrounds, and the patent claims. Right, so hands, controller, glasses, capture the image, processing is through this. Okay. See what these things look like. So it's making the virtual reality, augmented reality, inside stuff. Like, yeah, it's making the track for the dirt bike stuff. These applications are radically different for those AR headsets and Sony patented in mid-2023, which largely envisioned the immersive screen extension inside or instead of a true mixed reality gaming gadget. The actual gameplay process required for the technology to work would also be handled by the external system, which is the illustrates attached to the patent depicting that the example of the glasses connected to the PlayStation 5 and DualSense. However, Sony noted that the glasses could also work with third-party hardware, delegating the bulk of the processing task to the console or PC, would obscenely keep the production cost down if Sony were actually attempting to make the gadget. Oh, well, if they made the gadget, look at that. It's going to work with PC. Day and date, maybe. I don't know. The company originally filed to secure the patent in August of 2022, which is an application filing being granted in late February. The verified existence of the concept further underlines the conglomerate's ongoing interest in augmented reality. Aside from the technology itself, the group is also thinking about the content aside of AR gaming, and then with the IP filling track recorded indicating that Sony has already been exploring AR game concepts for years. Whether the game giant actually tries to commercialize the technology remains to be seen, but the PlayStation VR 2 hasn't been selling particularly well, such like this predecessor, which might take Sony to think twice before committing to such a field such as AR gaming. Yeah, VR is such a niched market. Okay, we talked about this on GXG with me and Sarge years ago. I said augmented reality would take off more, better than what VR is doing. VR is very niche community because people get nauseous. Your brain can't distinct. If you're walking or moving, people get nauseous. People get dizzy. People get too involved in it and they throw themselves at television sets and stuff like that. Where augmented reality, okay, and you can tell with the MetaQuest 3, with the Apple Vision Pro, because the camera's on the outside and you can see the world and things are starting to, yes, it's VR. Yes, you have a thing covering your face, but the cameras make it augmented reality, which makes it better. And the augmented reality is much better than the virtual reality where your brain can't tell the difference and gets, right? So a lot of people, if they can make a pair of glasses, which they are, right? Amazon sells a pair of glasses where you put it on, you can see the movie screen, you can see still stuff around you and whatnot. The technology is getting exponentially faster and better. And augmented reality, there will be a time where you just put a pair of glasses on. It'll be just daily, like a pair of regular sunglasses. You put it on, and it'll be augmented reality. So basically, in the future, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, everyone will be walking around with, Google Glass on their face, or Amazon, or whatever you want to call it, on their faces. But until that time, all of these things are going to be like niche markets, especially in video games, because in a video game format, it doesn't matter if Xbox, if Amazon makes it, if PlayStation makes it, if Nintendo makes it. You have a niche community of just gamers. If there's 3 billion people that can play video games, and then only 150 to 200 million people are buying that console. And out of that 200 million, 4 million buy a VR headset. That's not very good, right? Like, you have this whole market over here, and just people just don't want VR. So them going towards the augmented reality makes much more sense than the VR headset of the PSVR 2, which I said would bomb because it's just such a niche community. Plus, the price point has to come down, okay? To have VR be exponentially better and more feasible for the market, besides the people that get nauseous and whatnot, that price has to come down. Hence why the Meta sold so well. I think it sold 8 million units or whatever, 10 million units I think it is now, because the price point was below 300, right? And there's no wires anymore. You don't need all that stuff. With their headset piece, you needed to buy a PlayStation 5, right? Now they see the flaws in their mistakes, and they're making their headset work with PC as well. So with the augmented glasses, I think this is a better choice than the PSVR 2 or the PSVR 3 if they're working on it. So who knows? Maybe PlayStation makes this augmented reality glass and it comes out during the PlayStation 6 era, or it comes out during the PlayStation 5 at the tail end. Who knows? These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think about the patent, about the AI streaming? What do you think about the augmented reality glasses that they potentially are working on? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you like what we do here, please make sure you share, like, subscribe. And if you like it, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, chat. This is all great when you don't want to play a game yourself, yeah, right? That's RuneScape. You just click shit, and it does it for you. Yeah, that's, to me, I get there's people that like games like that. But you're not even playing the game at that point. Does this mean PlayStation 6 will not have controllers? AI plays for you. I mean, at some point, I think there will be games that you don't need to... Basically, you would just turn on your controller, like turn on your game, log in, and then it would do it itself. Spend $70 not to play the game. Right, which is just weird. While the AI is running around for you grinding, you have plenty of time to shop online store. It's true, Sarge. I didn't even think about that. Got to buy the $30 cosmetics so your character looks better running around by itself. Right. You got to get... Think about this, right? The stories that we talked about last week about kids getting bullied. Imagine now you buy a game, you do the augmented reality, and while you have the augmented reality on, the AI is playing the game for you. It buys the stuff for you. It's got the new skin, and the AI is bullying other people. The AI is bullying the other AI because the new skins, it's embedded into the code, knowing that this skin is old. Let's make sure that these people know that this skin's old so they can go buy new skins, right? Crazy. I love my Meta Quest 3, that's for sure. Yeah, the Meta Quest 2 that I have, I love. I can't wait till I upgrade down the road for Meta Quest 3, or maybe I'll skip the Meta Quest 3 and I'll get the Meta Quest 4 when it comes out. Playing Xbox Game Pass, PC games, PlayStation 5 games on that thing is amazing. I'll be honest with you, I always point back there because I always talk about it, okay? Akuta Papa gifted that to me, which my son loves it. He actually, we were playing, and he's like, can you tell him thank you? Right? So he gave us that. Very kind of him. And I play it all the time. I absolutely love playing. We're traveling. We're going on vacation over the summer. That will be coming with me because that is everything I need, right? I don't need to carry anything else with me. Right? I don't need to play on my small little screen. I can literally turn it on, go into the virtual world, and play on a movie screen if I want to. And it's just amazing, right? That, to me, is mind-boggling, that where technology is. And people complain about, no one's going to be playing things. I play that thing on all the time on the cloud, like playing through the cloud with certain games. Like if I don't want to download it on my Xbox, it's very... not noticeable, especially if you have good internet, that you can't even tell that you're playing on the cloud. You forget that you're playing on the cloud. Every once in a while, you'll get hiccups and stuff like that. But yesterday, we were playing a game, right? Yesterday, we were playing Expedition. I was getting hitching, and that's playing from the actual Xbox, not from the cloud, from the actual thing, downloaded on the Xbox. right? I have less hitching, right, or no hitching playing on the cloud. Just crazy. I remember almost everyone who bought the Apple Vision Pro returned it when the 14-day return period was almost up. Did they really? I didn't see that, Ghost. I mean, I wouldn't buy it. $3,500 is just ridiculous. So people probably bought it, made their content, and then returned it. That's what I'm saying, Waller. There's very, very little lag that you can notice. Now, obviously, I'm not playing multiplayer games. I'm just playing single-player games and whatnot. Sarge was playing with me and and his nephew on Sea of Thieves the other day, and he didn't want to download the game. I was like, you could play it from the cloud. And he's like, I don't know, can you? And he said every once in a while, he's like, but it's pretty damn good. Is that game in early access? Which game? Expedition? No, that's a full release. Which kind of pisses me off, though, Eclipse, because they're missing co-op. They're missing a couple things and the hitching that was happening. Krebsy said yesterday, and someone else said yesterday, a new person that was watching yesterday said, go to settings and turn it offline inside Xbox, and it should be okay. But the fact that you have to do that, I hate stuff like that, right? Brand new game comes out, you know, and all games, right? Even though people love Power World has its issues. Early access, right? Suicide Squad, $70 game, has its issues. Helldivers came out. Server glitches happen, but people forget it because it's fun. Still, it's unplayable for certain people, right? A lot of people didn't like the game and they returned it or didn't buy it or whatnot, right? Skull and Bones. All these games that come out, and I get that games are hard to make, but it's like little things like that, little things like Expedition, where I bought it because I was going to play with my son, and then to find out that the co-op's not coming in for a couple months, I would have held off. But then again, I guess I'll blame myself, right? I didn't do my research because the last time I said, oh, it's got co-op. And then when I bought it, co-op's not coming in for months. Vision Pro, in its current state, won't stick and be worn everywhere because who wants to spend hours a day with 5 pounds hanging on your face with pressure points? Correct. And I don't think that's why it's going to be a niche market for right now. Hence why I said in my video, once you get the sunglasses, once it's just sunglasses that you're putting on your face and that technology is inside the sunglasses, that's when it will be a staple. And that's why I said 10, 15 years from now, when it gets down to that point, right? The AR will take off. The VR will be a niche thing, right? But the reason the MetaQuest 3, okay, and the Apple Pro Vision or Vision Pro are popular is because of the pass-through to make it look like it's AR, not because it's VR. I don't know if I want to talk about Warner Brothers next or just get MLB out of the way. I think we'll get MLB out of the way. I'm going to mute because they have music in the actual trailer, and I don't want to get hit with the... So we'll show the trailer for MLB 24. Okay. I got off stream yesterday, came in my feed, I watched it, I was like, oh, cool, MLB The Show. And I'm a big fan of the MLB The Show. I've been buying the game for over a few decades now. Okay, so let's watch this. Okay. Road to the show, women pave their way. Kelsey Whitmore, if you guys don't know, is a minor league baseball player. We'll just let you watch this for a second. And I came at this, and I like having conversations, right? I want to make sure that this doesn't go down the path of transgender or anything like that, right? Because that's not what this is about, okay? What this is about, the way I looked at this is First, I looked at it and said, because of, maybe it's the timing, right? Maybe it's the timing. Here, I'll put this on loop while I talk about this. Maybe it's the timing because of the Sweet Baby Inc. stuff coming out and seeing all that stuff. It's in my head and whatnot, right? But we talked about the Sweet Baby Inc. the other day. You know, does this make the game better or worse, right? That's for you to decide, okay? What I'm upset about, okay, when I first saw this, I was like, MLB The Show, okay? MLB The Show is supposed to be based on their own words, okay? Their own words, okay? Down here, this is off of theshow.com, okay? Now, I'll read the whole thing in context, but, okay? It says, our mission is to offer total control of players on the field and provide opportunity to make every play based on players' attributes and tendencies. These improvements, existing features, along with the game interface balancing, are the backbone of yearly updates for our team. Our goal is to continue to create the most realistic baseball experience, along with empowering players with the total control over the field actions, ultimately making sure that player skills and team creations are determining factors. Now, MLB The Show, okay, MLB The Show is a simulator, okay? It is a simulator, okay? Now, I get that I can make Jack Burton, who's a fantasy character, inside the game. I could make myself and put it inside the game, right? And I understand that women play baseball. I understand that women play Little League baseball in middle school and high school, and they play college ball, but they mostly go to softball after the fact because as men and women get older, okay, we start separating from each other as far as the amount of power and strength in what we have. Okay, so when I look at, and this is my thought process. I'm giving you my raw thoughts of when I saw this, right? So I saw this and I was like, why are they doing this, right? And the first thing that went in, okay, the first thing that went to my head was it was because of being woke and whatnot. But I was like, I thought about it and I was like, in a fantasy world, why shouldn't they be allowed to make a character? Fine. Last year, they did the Negro League that came into the game, and it was like a separate game mode inside the thing. Now, this is a Road to the Show where you can make the girl character and bring her in to the thing. So it is a standalone game mode, okay? Because when I play a MLB The Show, I play 2 times, right? I play the Road to the Show where I'm playing where my character that I make Jack Burton or whatever, right? And I play the normal because I want to use the baseball players that I'm playing, which you can still do inside this game. But I look at this and say, this is not realistic, right? In our modern day right now, there are no women playing Major League Baseball, right? And then when you look up the stats of Kelsey Whitmore, okay, they're terrible, okay? And the point that I was like talking about yesterday in our Discord was that women can't compete with men on the Major League level. Now, she is a minor league baseball player, okay, that could make it to the professionals one day, but this is the best of the best, right? I played baseball, couldn't cut it, okay? But the worst player in baseball history that made it to the pros has still more power and strength, okay? So much so that even women, when they played baseball, the baseball fields are not as big because they can't hit it as far. Now, they can crush a softball, but the softball fields are like 230 feet, not 350 feet, not 400 feet. Right? So there's a big difference in what's going on. Now, people could look at me and say, oh, you're just scared because you're masculine, you know, you're just scared about because you're being emasculated by women. And that has nothing to do with it. It has to do with that women, like a girl can play this, and women like baseball, right? Women love baseball, love talking sports with anybody that loves sports. But the reality is, in real life, that they'll never be on the same playing field as an actual woman, in the same playing field as men in the major league level. This goes across football, basketball, right? The closest thing would be soccer. And even then, they can't really hang after a certain period of time. You have to be the top of the top. And the 1%, the 1.1%, right? Or the I should say the 0.0000001% can maybe hang with the men at certain levels. Now, let's go back to just the video game form, right? MLB The Show is a video game. And you should be able to fantasize like if I was playing Baldur's Gate 3 or if I was playing Modern Warfare. Hell, in Division 2, I play as a woman. It doesn't really matter. And I thought about it as I was going through. I was like, yeah, there's no women in Major League Baseball. They will never hang with the men in baseball because they will never be as strong and they will never be, right? They could still play the game, sure. But then I was thinking about on the video game level. I was like, is it a big deal? It really isn't a big deal. But with the temperature of all what's going on and them shitting on, superheroes or changing genders or changing races or making things, the world's in a crazy place and you can't help but just hear all the stuff that goes into your head. So I look at this and say, MLB The Show, I'm not going to play it because to me, it's not a realistic baseball simulator. Now, I play another baseball game, okay, that has men and women on the thing, but that's not MLB. It's just a generic baseball game. And I'm okay with it because it doesn't represent MLB. MLB The Show represents Major League Baseball, and Major League Baseball is supposed to be the most realistic thing, hence why they have the brand MLB. So that is the difference, right? I'm a little torn because the MLB is supposed to be the simulator. And yes, it's still that simulator, and I don't have to engage with this part, but I just don't agree with it. So just like I don't like microtransactions or other things, I vote with my wallet. And I haven't bought this game in 2 years. I bought the first one when it came out to Xbox, when it first came out on Xbox. And I didn't buy the next couple because it was on Game Pass. And even if it's on Game Pass now, I'm still not going to pick it up if it does come to Game Pass, right? So these are just my thoughts. Let's go to the article that talks about it here. Okay. Now, MLB The Show 24 looks to pass the future for women in baseball. Now, the first time players can create a woman in a road to show to play through a unique story for them. Okay, over the few years, sports sims have started to make strides towards not just being accurate recreations of professional athletes, but playable documentaries that examine the legacy of a star player in historical moments. Now, of the big annual sports franchises, Sony San Diego studio MLB The Show rapidly became most interesting, and the studio is following a tremendous storylines mode about baseball's Negro leagues, okay, with the career mode centered on women. Now, if you were playing the League of Their Own story back in the 1920s up to the I think it was 1954 or 1949 or whatever it did, right? Cool. Like, I would have no problem with that, right? Called Road to the Show, Women Paved the Way, the mode is effectively a second Road to the Show campaign with all the career mode's features in addition to the unique to women storylines following a lifelong friendship in the developments of professional baseball. The last bit, according to the narrative designer Molly Bradley, is important to it's not enough, she argues, in a promo interview of PlayStation Blog, to merely add women to the show career mode, but to illustrate the immense importance of community to support amongst the small but ever-growing group of women in baseball. See, and this is where I have a kind of a problem with it. It's a baseball game. It's a baseball game. I just want to play baseball, okay? But again, you can't just play baseball anymore. You got to get stuff shoved into your face, okay? At the end, women players create the mode will also have a buddy character named Mia Lewis, a childhood friend and fellow baseball player who function as a sounding board, a support system, and a competitive player in her own right. And your relationship with her in the game will grow to evolve throughout your career. In addition to Women Pave Their Way, MLB The Show will also bring a second season of its storyline mode featuring the Negro Leagues and also include the Trailblazers' Tony Stone. Now, I didn't know who Tony Stone was, so I kind of did a little research for Tony Stone, okay? Tony Stone, because I like educating myself. I like to learn. I like to pass on information. Now, Tony Stone, take this what you want. This is from Wiki, right? It's from the internet, so it has to be true, right? So Tony Stone, July 17th, 1921 to November 2nd to 1996, born. American female professional baseball player that played predominantly male leagues. Okay, in 1953, she became the first woman to play in regular on the American major level professional baseball team. When she joined the Indianapolis Clowns, a previously all-male Negro league, two other women would also play on that team. And a player based on the early childhood, she also played on San Francisco Sea Lions and the New Orleans, and Indianapolis Clowns and the Kansas City Monarchs, before retiring in baseball in 1954. Stone was taunted at many times by teammates, once being told, "Go home and fix your husband some biscuits." But she also been widely reported during the exhibition game in 1953 that she hit a single off the fast pitch delivered by legendary Satchel Paige, along with claims has failed verification. So there's been no proof that Satchel Paige, if you guys don't know, is one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Okay. And to make this woman feel like she's more superior or whatever, they said that she hit a fastball off Satchel Paige, but there was no evidence of this in multiple things that I looked up. Okay. Her baseball career spending time in Jackie's Tavern and Stutter. Stone becomes friends with her own. Okay, introduced her as an American Legend League baseball team, which is also part of the national network of amateur baseball teams for teenagers. Okay, Stone unofficially played some ball with the American League team in Minnesota. In San Francisco, became the age limit was American Legion teams. Stone subtracted 10 years from her age, claiming to be 17 instead of 27. Now, she played in teams in San Francisco from 1943 to 1945. Okay. Let's see here. Stone's accomplishments make her the best player you never heard of, according to the Negro League Baseball Players Association. In 1990, she was introduced in the 2 exhibits of Baseball Hall of Fame, one for women in baseball, another Negro baseball. In 1993, Stone introduced the Women's Sports Hall of Fame, as well as the International Women's Sports Hall of Fame in 1990. Now, I try to look up any kind of stats. They don't have stats back then. If they did keep track of them or whatnot, but they do have stats for other people back then that played in those time frames. They just don't have stats for her. So I'm not trying to undermine this in any way, shape, or form. You know, I didn't know who Toni Stone was. I educated myself to find out who Toni Stone was. And it's fantastic. Yes, women can play baseball. There used to be a professional, I don't know if they're still around, the Silver Bullets. Okay, it was an all-woman baseball team. A couple times they won some games, but they went up against high school teams, and they also lost a couple of games as well. So, to me, going past what MLB The Show is doing, just to say that women, I'm not saying women can't play baseball. They 100% can play baseball. I'm just saying they can't play baseball with men just because it's unfair, right? Can you imagine Randy Johnson pitching or Pedro Martinez? They would never touch. They would be embarrassed. There's full-grown men that can't even touch the ball that those people throw. And these are the best of the best, right? So say what you want. Say in the comment section what you want. Say it in the chat, whichever you want, if you think I'm being emasculated or anything like that. I just like to educate myself, and I'm kind of upset because MLB The Show is supposed to be the most realistic simulator baseball game out there, and it's doing exactly what other baseball games do, which kind of defeats the purpose of MLB The Show. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe if you like what we do here. Check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Krebsy says, come on, 30. You feel threatened. I do. Do you think it's cool chicks like baseball? Let's see. I don't know if I have been Brock Lesnar's daughter. She kick all their asses. I seriously doubt that. People have always overreacted for over woke stuff. Who cares? There's bigger issues to worry about. Yeah, but it's not about the small little issue of having women play baseball, Garrett, because it's more and more. The more you don't care, the more the stuff happens. Right? I mean, again, I understand it's like first world problems or whatnot, but this is also a video game channel, so we're talking about video games and what's happening. I care about the gameplay is good, and the game modes have depth. I don't care about this nonsense. Okay? I look like I get a video game, so I don't care. Game is that realistic. I'm just saying if the game is posted as the most realistic baseball game, to then make it like a fantasy game, kind of weird. Eclipse says, I didn't watch the trailer completely. They're actually playing with the men. That I don't like. That's what I'm saying. But again, it's a fantasy game, and hence I said my literal thoughts as I watched it and went through the whole thing. But you don't have to put the woman in the game. It's just an option. You can play the game in normal simulator. That's not the point, though. And I made my point across, Garrett, why I stand where I stand. So the version of the game was made for female fans of baseball who also play video games. Must be an incredibly large demographic that they can make money off of, I guess. Just a bigger tent to bring in money. I would like to know what the demographic is. Right? I would like to know. Actually, let me see if they even talk about. Oh, let's see. I don't think they tell you the sales numbers. Oh, here you go. Now this is before Game Pass, right? So I'm sure, right? And this is a pretty good thing because this is only on PlayStation, right? Up until I think what 2020 or 2021. So I'm sure the demographic is gigantic, right? MLB The Show 1.16 million, 1.06 million. MLB The Show 2021 2 million. Okay. I'm sure that player base is gigantic. But who knows? Have you seen the fantastic uniform fiasco, the jerseys? I did. I saw where they're like see-through. Is that what you're talking about, Krebsy? The see-through uniforms? Brain says, holy hell. I know where she was born. Since we're speaking baseball, have you guys seen the new Las Vegas MLB Stadium renders to their team? No, I haven't. Was it Las Vegas new baseball stadium?
Enjoy.
And I'm Brian Loftus. Here is a first peek at the renderings. 8 Sports Now director Chris Matthews live in studio with those renderings.
Thank you very much, Brian Kirsten. When you first look at these 4 renderings the A's revealed today, boy, it's eye-popping and matches what Las Vegas is kind of becoming. Iconic skyline, of course, the Sphere. Well, here's your first look at what will be a 33,000-seat.
Wait a minute. That's over by... Oh, that's across the street from Excalibur and the Luxor. Wow, they're building it right there.
$1.5 billion ballpark. It will set the standard, having the largest outdoor cable net glass window in the world. The 2- or 3-story seating structure will also have baseball's largest.
Well, that's cool. So you see, what's it called? New York, across in the background.
Jumbotron. Its architecture, it kind of reminds me of an armadillo, but also looks like the Sydney Opera House or the old La Concha Motel here in Vegas. It has 5 overlapping layers setting up the roof there, but when you see the renderings, boy, they really are eye-opening.
It blew me away. As someone, I've been to all 30 ballparks. I wrote a book on going to the ballparks back in '98.
Oh, that's right. The Athletics are moving, right? They're leaving Oakland and going to Las Vegas.
This is the future of professional sports. Stadiums with this type of design, totally iconic. I think this is going to have a fan experience that is going to rival anything in the world. And so we're just really excited to bring that to Las Vegas. We think the design is, like I said, a grand slam home run, and we can't wait to open in 2028.
All right, now the chairman
2028, Jesus.
The Bally's Corporation, Sue Kim, sums it up saying the A's have created a remarkable design that adds to the rich fabric of must-see attractions in Las Vegas. This is a once-in-a-generation project. Well, the ballpark will sit on 9 acres of land, sitting around 25 acres around the resort there. Spots, around 2,500 spots. The 2 to 3 acre plaza out front of the facility on the boulevard and Trop will lead into the main concourse. Kirsten.
Very exciting. Thank you.
That's cool. That's cool. And they just released those recently, like this morning. Some positive with lots of negatives. I heard it's called the Fat Sydney Opera House. That's cool though that the whole roof is the Jumbotron. Check out what the general chat. All right, give me a second. Brilliant Labs, pocket-size AR for imaginative hackers. A brilliant lab. We're building an open source ecosystem to support developers and creatives reimagining the future. Here's Here's 10, 15 years deleted in a matter of minutes from WaterBear. I'm telling you, man, exponentially faster. Garrett says, if they're adding women takes away resources that can make the game better, the answer is no. Did you see the graphics of the characters? Did you see the graphics of the characters, of the women characters? I don't know if that's taken away, but did you see the thing they call hair on the back of their head for long hair? Female baseball fans, 43%, 18 to 49. So you're saying the 1 million sales, 50% of those are women? Is that what you're saying, Prosy? Or are you talking about the actual game of people going to baseball and liking baseball? Let me go back to these glasses. Search the live web for what you see. Hack build, modify, frame is open to boldest ideas. It's got the microphone, magnet, back housing, polished steel covering. It's got a camera, so now you can see everything, right? How much are these going for? First batch ships on April 15th. Hey, wow. Wow, 10, 15 years just went like that. That's crazy. That's crazy. The actual game of baseball. Yeah, that's not surprising. Do you think women watch baseball because they want to see themselves in it? Probably not. If there was so many women that wanted to play baseball, where is the women's Major League Baseball league? Surely if, what'd you say, 43%? 43%. So how many people, let's see, how many people baseball viewership statistics. How's it doing in the age of cord cutting? Okay, let's see. That's minutes watched. Okay, the 2022 World Series had an average of 11.8 million views. Okay? 11.8 million views. Now, that's worldwide. Right? That's worldwide. Okay, so half of that. We're talking 5 million people that like baseball that are women. There should be plenty of people that want to start a league. Right? And I have no problem with women playing baseball. I actually love watching women's softball. When I had friends at University of Florida and UCF and stuff like that, it's awesome to watch. I have a problem with women playing baseball with men because it's not fair. But then again, that's real life. And the video game is a video game, and I can understand the difference. Hence why I said what I said when I was talking about it. Here, yesterday, in general chat, I posted this is the person that is the best woman in baseball. Okay? This is the best woman in baseball. Okay? These are her stats. Okay? Now, this is not to diminish her achievements of what she's done. Okay? This is to show that she's the best of the best. She's made it to this point. Okay? She's made it to this point. Okay? Plate appearances 14, 13 at-bats, 1 run, 1 hit. 16 plate appearances, 13 at-bats, 1 run, 1 hit. Okay. 43 at-bats, 43 plate appearances, 39 at-bats, 2 runs, 1 hit. Okay. And that's for Staten Island. Four years, 1 RBI, 50 strikeouts. 50 strikeouts. Okay. The fact is that it's going to be really hard for her to succeed and get to the next level. And if they do make it to the next level, it'll be like the movies that we used to watch, Rookie of the Year, where the kid has his broken arm and it's more for advertisement, right? Ron Schlesser says, Women Baseball 2024 is shadow dropping to Game Pass today. Garrett says, I agree that adding women to just virtual signal is dumb, but I really don't care. It moved. I really don't care that much as long as it doesn't affect the quality of the game. That's here nor there, right? For this particular conversation, when the game comes out and we can play it, then we can have that conversation. I'm not going to play it, so I'll have to look at reviews and stuff like that. If it's the same type of game that it was in 2023, which was the same game in 2022, which is the same game in 2021, then we can have that conversation if the quality of the game is suffered by putting something like that in the game. Brain says the WNBA is subsidized by the NBA. It literally can't afford to survive on its own. Waterbear says, people who truly think and feel that the pro women can compete with pro males in the highest level are insane. Men are at the highest pro sports levels are considered metahumans. That's right. Could you imagine? Now, I get it, right? If you want to take a, remember Unnecessary Roughness, the movie? What was her name? Kathy Ireland. She was the field goal kicker in that movie, okay? I could see a woman, soccer player, okay, coming into the professional football league and being a field goal kicker, right? They do it in college a lot and stuff like that, right? Because they have fucking strong legs. I can see that. I will never, ever see a woman be a quarterback or be a lineman, right? Or a running back, right? It's just not going to happen. It'd be a death sentence. It would be a death sentence. Exactly, Brain, right? But even half of those women would not watch women play. They would still rather watch men and the best players. But that's my point. And the big deal that I have with MLB The Show is that it's supposed to be the most realistic baseball game. No one else can make a Major League Baseball game. Nobody else is allowed to touch a baseball game with real players and stuff because they have the license. The woman being added won't affect my enjoyment of Major League Baseball at all. If you're not interested and connected, don't have to play it. You don't have to preach to me, McDonald. I literally said that before, right? It's not about putting in the game to ruin my enjoyment. It's about the premise of MLB The Show is supposed to be the most realistic thing, okay, for baseball. And it's I get you can make your own character. I could put myself. I don't really make myself, right? I make Jack Burton or whatever and put the character in there just for fun. But I usually just play the game for the people that are on the team because I want to play as my favorite baseball players, right? Now, again, I am not the consumer anymore because I usually don't play it. I bought the one that came out the first year for MLB The Show for an Xbox. And since then, I haven't purchased it. I played it on Game Pass. The point is that little by little, more of this stuff comes in, and it is virtual signaling. It's nothing more than that. It's to prop them up, to use them as a advertisement tool to do stuff. It's not authentic. We can add women, but we can't add Pete Rose. Oh, man. That's a good one. That's good, Ron. It is a problem. They took funds at the time from somewhere and added something to not conventional to the game of baseball. Money spent on female voice actors and could have gone to a better Q&A. It's true. It's true, Brian. Ghost of Tsushima has been announced and on Steam preview page right now. When does it come out? May 16th? Hey, it's like a birthday gift. Like a birthday gift. Remember, Ghost of Tsushima was never coming to PC. That's what people told me. Never coming. Never gonna happen. You gotta buy a PlayStation 30. You gotta buy a PlayStation. Gotta buy a PlayStation. It's never gonna come to PC. Man, today's show. Augmented reality glasses instantly here in April. And Ghost of Tsushima on PC. Amazing. Points to Ron. You know what? Yeah, we'll give some points to Ron. 3 points for Ron. 30 does MLB the game call itself the most realistic baseball game sim? That's your expectations? Jones, yes, that's exactly what they say. MLB is the most realistic baseball game. Yes. Most authentic, realistic baseball game sim. That's right. See, I have the right to not like something, and you have the right to not like me not liking something. Beautiful thing, right? Do I in any way, shape, or form look like I'm pissed about it happening? No. Just having a conversation. Ghost of Tsushima is one of the goats of gaming. I bought both versions, PlayStation 5. Excellent game. I agree with that. It's fake virtual signaling just to make more money. It's not something that I actually believe in. That's my stance, Green. Right? That's my stance. Imagine Randy Johnson type pitcher hitting a female with 100-mile. It would shatter her collarbone. It would be done. He would go to jail. He could go to jail for murder if that happened. I might have to upgrade that GPU. Why? I have a 3060. What's the requirements? Do they have it posted? That's right. 30. It's a win. AR, Tsushima, and women in MLB. Mo says, I was just about to say that. He would be in jail. That's right. He would murder somebody. Remember when? Remember? Now, don't get me wrong. Underhand pitching in softball, right? If you watch the national championships and stuff like that, they are buzzing it, right? But not all of them buzz it like that. Like the 1% of the 1%ers. Sarge says it's the most realistic baseball simulator because it's the only baseball game. So please, just stop. Remember the Randy Johnson bird incident? Yeah, where he just obliterated the bird. Oh my God! Can we look at that? Can we look at that? Come on. It's not the clearest because it's old, but let's watch it. Right here it comes, the bird flying in. Poof. Disintegrates. Instant. You see how fast, like the frame. Okay, soon as he hits it, blam. Then watch, it hits the ground. There. That's the body. The feathers are still in the air. Just completely obliterated the bird. Let's watch that in real time. Yeah, let's watch that in real time. Oh, they're slowing it down. Do you understand? Oh no, the body still went that way. I saw the body. Was it half the body? Like, what was that? No, the puff on the ground, is it the ball? Because you don't see the ball go down. Hold on. Let me. You don't see the white. Nothing drops in that frame. Oh, there it is. Yep, you're correct. You see it. You see the ball hit, and then this is the ball right here. It hits him dead, bounces straight down, and then bounces that direction. Yeah. Yep, that's what it was. The body goes forward. You can see the body like right here. Yeah, and the body flips. It's right here. Yeah, right there on the ground. Completely sheared the bird. There was no feathers left on the bird. The bird was bare. The ball hit it so hard, every feather came off the bird. And to this day, that's how he defeathers the bird on Thanksgiving. He puts it in his backyard and he just pitches a ball and just explodes it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Dad, can we just have a regular bird? He gets a ball of stuffing. And he just chucks it in there. That's how he does it. Now, remember when David Wright, one of my favorite baseball players, right? He got hit in the head with a ball at I think it was 98, 99 miles an hour. Never the same. It was never the same. You could always tell when he was up to bat that he was afraid of the plate. Never the same. Oh yeah, I went to a couple of live games when he was pitching water, and when you would hear that ball, boom, hit that glove, man, I felt bad. I felt bad for the catcher. Got to put extra padding in his glove. All right, next, we're going to talk about Warner Brother discusses volatile AAA console games will lean into free-to-play and mobile. Okay, so the company envisions a future of Harry Potter game where you can live and work and build and play that would be an ongoing basis. Okay. Now, during a recent Morgan Stanley speaking event, Warner Brothers Discovery game boss JP discussed some of the company's strategies for gaming going forward, and it includes more live service, mobile, and free-to-play games. Okay, now, mind you, live service, mobile, and free-to-play games. Suicide Squad is kind of two of those, right? It's not free-to-play, but it's the live service, but they're doing the free-to-play model where they're constantly giving you stuff for free, okay, which is the content, right? He said, doubling down on games as an area where we think there's a lot more growth opportunity that we can tap into in the IP. We also have some of the capabilities. We have the studios where they're uniquely positioned in both publisher and developer of games, okay? You guys also remember that as well, right? They don't have to pay the licensing fees to Hogwarts Legacy or any of the DC films because they own them all. Okay, so it says WB developers' recent gaming output has focused on AAA games for console, and the great when the game like Hogwarts Legacy sells 22 million copies and becomes the best-selling game of the year. But the kind of success is never guaranteed, and what he was saying is this volatile market. He pointed out that the WB's development's latest big game, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, was a disappointment for the company. Now, again, for that to say a disappointment for the company is they're comparing year over year, and the game that came out the year before was Hogwarts Legacy, which sold 15 million copies in the first month. Okay, so take that what you want. So the plan going forward, he said, is to help reduce volatile by focusing on core franchises and bringing at least some of them to mobile and free-to-play spaces, as well as continue to invest in live service games that people play and spend money on over a long period of time. This will help, before I even continue with that, so live service games that people play and spend money on over a long period of time. I think that statement right there, even though most people that watch this video or in chat right now will say that I'm coping, it has nothing to do with cope. I take a very logical approach to most of the stuff that I say, okay? WB invested a lot of money in Suicide Squad. It's a live service game, and as I said in past videos and months and leading up to it, I said that this is going to be here for the long haul, regardless if it's 12 months, 20 months. I think it lasts the 20 to 2 years. I think it lasts to 2 years to 3 years because, again, their words, not mine. A live service game that people play and spend money on over long periods of time. Now, people make a quick little tweet. Well, yeah, the 3 people that are playing the game. As things come out, as movies come, as TV shows comes, as whatever comes down the line, more people will be like, oh, I didn't know this game existed, right? So you're okay saying that the women are a big population that are going to buy MLB The Show because they want to see themselves in video games, but there's no population of DC of people that like DC that will buy the game down the road, right? Is that what we're saying now? Okay, so it says in the long period of time, this will help WB generate more consistent revenue, he said. Going to tease the WB developers had some mobile free-to-play games coming this year. Also worth noting that just because Warner Brothers developers, Warner Brothers Discovery, that's what it says, WBD, is pushed into places, that doesn't necessarily mean that it will stop making big single-player AAA games. A lot of people are freaking out because they're like, oh my God, they're going to kill Hogwarts Legacy. I don't think they're going to kill Hogwarts Legacy. Avalanche Studios has already said that they're going to make it's a franchise. Like, they made so much money, they'd be idiotic to make that game's sequel into something different than what this game is, right? Now, obviously, they could take that brand and make it into a spin-off or do something else. They can make an MMO that we've talked about in the past as well, but they would be absolutely insane to take Hogwarts Legacy 2 and make it into a a completely separate game than the first one in the series that they want to make. Okay. So it says, rather than just launching one-and-done console games, how do we develop a game around example, Hogwarts Legacy of Harry Potter and the live service where people can live, work, and build and play in the world on an ongoing basis, he said. Right? So, again, instead of just doing a one-and-done console game like Hogwarts, right, it's a risk. Every time you make a movie, every time you write a book, every time you make a TV show, every time you make a video game, it's always a risk. You don't know what's going to make it. You hope that it's going to make money, but it's a risk. Hence why companies make multiple games, multiple books, multiple movies and TV shows, because one might be a home run, two might be okay, and the rest are going to lose money for you. But this keeps this afloat, okay? Sort of like what Brain said about the NBA with the WNBA, okay? He says, went on to say that the Warner Brothers Discovery is a unique position because it has popular brands. He singled out Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, DC as the biggest, as well as 11 different internal game development studios. He also teased that WB Discovery has a strategic investment plan to help make future games more successful, adding that the company just recently brought someone to help the brand management and some stability. Okay, Warner Brothers Discovery has also expects gaming to bring meaningful growth to the company in the years to come, but making games takes time, right? And that's another reason I think that Suicide Squad is going to last 2 to 3 years. You can call me crazy, but the business, okay, looks at this and says, we invested this much time into this game. There's no way they're going to take a game that took 9 years and they're just going to throw it out the window. They're going to see what sticks over the next year to 2 years and see what they can make out of this, return on their investment. If it's little, minuscule, if they never get back to that profit point, right, they want to make sure they can get as much money back as possible, okay? And I think, again, if someone can say every game is one patch away from becoming good, there's no difference with Suicide Squad, right? The people that like the game like the game. The people that don't like the game move on and play a different game, okay? We have another story about DC multiverses, okay? Or WB multiverses coming back out, okay? We had a conversation about that like a week or two ago, okay? So, but making games takes time. And because it takes so much time to make video games, they're just not going to throw it off to the side and then invest another 5-6 years to make a video game, right? So they want to make sure that they have different IPs, different brands, and while they have a Hogwarts Legacy, while they have a Suicide Squad, they can go make another game in a mobile form, in a free-to-play form, and get that out there. Hence why the Multiverses is coming back out, okay? It also said, by the company is laying down foundation now for returns that could come in 2025, 2026, and 2027. And those games would be Hogwarts Legacy, still making profit, okay, because it already made a profit, and it's still selling. They're still going to keep up to dates. They're coming out with an expansion or something. They're going to say something over the summer, okay? Multiverses, which is a free-to-play fighting game that people spend microtransactions on, and you got Suicide Squad, and you have other games as well, okay? So he went on to say how he has no idea how the gaming landscape will evolve over time, but he believes that owning the IP and the studios could help WB Discovery succeed where others might not. He also called out things like virtual reality, virtual worlds as places that will also increase the scale and adoption in the future. Now, here's another thing that they could do, right? Not only Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League is out there, but again, everyone thinks that we don't know the price, right? We don't know how much they spent on this game, and we also know that they didn't have to buy the license because the people who made the game own the company. The company owns the license. So they don't have to give that extra 30% or whatever it is to the other company. They are the company, okay? So Rocksteady is owned by WB Games. They're underneath the same umbrella. So even if the game costs $200 million and they don't make that money right back at the start, in the long run, they can make it back and be profitable in the long run. But a lot of people don't understand that. They think because the game is dead now, it's dead forever. And these are the same people that are playing No Man's Sky. These are the same people that are playing Battlefield 2042. These are the same people playing Cyberpunk. These are the same people playing Fallout 76. This is the same people. Pick a game and insert here, okay? So it boggles my mind that everyone's like, well, this game's dead. It's a completely different scenario. Marvel's Avengers wasn't owned by Crystal Dynamics. They had to pay a licensing fee, okay? So he went on to say, some of the WB Discovery upcoming video games include Harry Potter Quidditch game, okay, and Wonder Woman's title, and the makers of Shadow of Mordor. Wonder Woman game is not a live service game, Okay? It's a single-player game. Okay? Warner Bros. Discovery approach to gaming is very different to Disney, and the company years ago developed to publish games in-house, but now licenses and franchises to other companies. For example, Disney just paid Epic $1.5 billion to bring a franchise to Fortnite. Disney also is working with a variety of companies, including EA, Ubisoft, Zynga, and Quantic Dream on Star Wars games, and the deal with Microsoft and Bethesda for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle of Blade. The point of that is that WB doesn't have to do that. WB doesn't have to go out and try to manufacture people to get the licensing. They have studios underneath their umbrella that they can work with, and that's huge. They don't have to pay for the license, and they also don't have to give a percentage off to somebody for that. They just put it right back into house. Okay? I think, again, I don't think this means that Hogwarts Legacy 2 is coming out and it's going to be a live service game. Everyone likes to just, all of a sudden, the sky is falling. Are they going to make a live service game based off of the Harry Potter game? You better believe they are. Is there going to be a MMO down the road? Probably. Okay. Is there going to be other games with those licenses of Game of Thrones? Right? Is there going to be a survival game? Maybe. Right? Like we just watched Dune Awakening. Okay. Maybe they make a survival world of Game of Thrones where you live in the Game of Thrones world. Okay. Maybe they make other games down the road. The Multiverses game is, they can just keep adding characters and skins and all this stuff, right? Remember, right? StarCraft, the entire game, made less money than one skin in World of Warcraft, okay? So when you look at this, and you look at Multiverses where they sell skins, now that game made a shit ton of money, then closed down for almost a year, and now is coming back. It's going to make more money, okay? Suicide Squad. The live service aspect of that game is not even in the game yet. People are complaining that it's a bad live service game. How do they know? They haven't even done anything with the live service aspect. They're just trying to get the game stable. Okay? Sure, it's a bad game right now because it's not working correctly, but the live implemented for the live service part hasn't even been put into the game yet. They're like, oh, it's bad microtransactions. They have bundles. A third of the price of what you pay for other games. Okay? For a bundle of stuff. Yes, it's still expensive. And I don't buy microtransactions, but the actual implementation of the live service game hasn't even been implemented yet. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. What do you think? Do you think WB Games all of a sudden is going to stop and Hogwarts Legacy is done and they're never going to add anything to it or DLC to it and they're just going to make Hogwarts Legacy 2 a live service nightmare? Or do you think they're just going to take the brand of Harry Potter, of Hogwarts Legacy, and make separate games that go into the mobile live service, right? Like this makes much more sense than just scrap everything and start again. They need a foundation. And if these games are the worst right now and they're still making money, they don't tell you how much money they made, right? This is actually a good starting point for them because they don't have to pay the licensing fees and whatnot. Again, these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. And if you like what we do here, please check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Who owns let's see here. Warner Bros. Is a distributor of Dune, right? But who owns Dune? They have the IP. Worldwide production of Legendary Pictures. Produced, partner, managed adaptation of Dune. Eventually, Legendary acquires. Legendary acquired the TV and film and TV rights to Dune in November of 2016. Oh, it was one of the last films of Warner Brothers. So they weren't the distributor of it. It's separate. It's separate. It's the Herbert Limited Partnership. Dune is registered copyright and trademark, which owned by Herbert Limited Partnership. Copyright for the scans of pictures remains of rightful owner and shown in the website information only. So Warner Brothers doesn't own the rights of that. Oh, thanks, Krebsy. Yeah, I was looking it up. Bird lost all of his feathers. I just said the 3060 is fine. I was talking about the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 comparison you made. Oh, okay. Dustin, well, 30 Ghost of Tsushima rumored is true. It's coming on May 16th, $60. It's the director's cut. Thanks for letting us know, Dustin. Yeah, they told me a little bit earlier. More companies need to do what Hogwarts did. Build an amazing single-player experience with great systems, and then expand off to the sequels with online, live service, etc. Don't dive deep off the bat. Here's the thing. You know what I think is funny? I'm watching a lot of videos of people talking about how Hogwarts Legacy is this great game, right? Where were these people when the game came out? And they were like, it's just mid, right? Where's all the hoopla of Hogwarts Legacy, right? You heard because it sold 22 million copies. People were like, oh yeah, it was very successful. Where were all these people when Hogwarts Legacy came out and they were like, yeah, it didn't do anything revolutionary. It's just a mid game. And then all of a sudden they're like, what are you doing, WB? I can't believe you're ruining this game. This game is like the wind, right? The wind changes and the internet just goes crazy. I said from day one, this is a fantastic game. This game's going to sell a shit ton of copies. Everyone's like, nah, it's mid, dude. Mid. It shouldn't win any awards. It shouldn't do anything. What are you doing, WB? Don't touch the game. The game's... It's perfect. They just sound a movie rates. They don't look or own the lore at all. Yeah, there was the distributor of it for the last movie. They didn't do this movie. And Legendary Pictures has the rights got the rights for the movie. But they own the movie rights, not the book. They were all playing Elden Ring. Also, I don't know the 3 people equals everyone. The internet itself, Krebsy, was saying the game was mid, right? They didn't start talking about it until the sales numbers came out. And then they were like, oh yeah, it sold more copies than whatever. But a lot of the personalities on YouTube... I'm sure a lot of people don't remember. I remember. Mo remembers. Petra's Farm remembers. Good old Pepperidge Farm. I didn't get into the same game awards, but Cyberpunk 2077 was the best ongoing game. Right, Mo. Now it's cool, right? I don't think they touch Hogwarts Legacy 2 and all of a sudden make it a live service game. I do believe, though, they can take the game itself and they can make it into a live service game. I said this before the game even came out. I said I'm kind of confused why they didn't make a live service game. Again, live service games don't suck. Bad games that are live service games suck. Okay? Hogwarts Legacy is set up to be a perfect live service game, right? And if you think about it, I talked about this over a year ago before the game even came out. I said if Hogwarts Legacy, I put Hogwarts and Starfield in the same category. Okay? Hogwarts and Starfield could do exactly what Grand Theft Auto did. Okay? Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, And it has a completely standalone single-player campaign. Nobody, they don't take that away from you. And then there's the online Grand Theft Auto. Okay? Hogwarts Legacy is Hogwarts Legacy. Okay? You could go play the single-player Hogwarts Legacy. It is what it is. And then you can play Hogwarts Legacy online. Right? You see what I'm saying? Starfield. Single-player Starfield. You can go in and play Starfield as much as you want. They don't take anything. It's not a live service game. There's no microtransactions and stuff like that. But then there's Starfield Online. Okay? That is the future for games like this. If you don't have an example, a specific person changing what they said, then it's different people saying different things. All right, I'll tell you what, Jones. I will do the research, and I will find people shitting on the game and then changing what they said. Okay? Just because I don't have anything at this very moment doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I like how you're like defending people that you don't know who they are, but you're defending those people, even though those people said one thing and then they said another. I know how YouTube works. I know how YouTube works. Dave Rose says it's just like the fact that now that people think that everything needs to be a live service game. It doesn't. I like the self-contained single-player game that once beat it, you put it down. But that's what I'm saying, Rose. Right? The fact that Grand Theft Auto Online is a single-player game, Red Dead Redemption is a single-player game, but at the same time, it's also a live service game. It's the perfect world of both worlds. It's the perfect of both worlds, right? If you're not interested in the online aspect, you could just buy Hogwarts Legacy, right? Nothing changes. Hogwarts Legacy is there, 100% single player, and then you can click on the menu system and play online. And then you go online, and then that's where the shark cards are, or that's where the constant updates come from, right? So once you're done playing this, you can go over there and hang out until there's more. Okay? One and done. Play the single player, never touch the online. Right? Same with Starfield. What Rockstar has done with Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption is the perfect balance. Right? Nobody complains that Grand Theft Auto struggled more because the online was there. They stopped making DLC. But if it's a game that you're just looking for one and done, it doesn't really matter then, does it? Right? You can go play Grand Theft Auto 5, never touch the online. You can go play Hogwarts Legacy, never touch the online. You can go play Starfield, never touch the online. So it's a single-player game, and it's also a live service game. Too many R companies? Yeah, I say Rocksteady, Rockstar. Elden Ring, Armored Core 6 both have great single player and multiplayer. Yeah. They're just separate games, right? So they're not taking anything away from you in that single player. There's another game that has a single player, and then there was a multiplayer, right? What was that? I'm trying to think of another. I can't think it off the top of my head right now. Again, live service is not bad. Bad games that are live service are bad. And then there's games in the middle where, like, the game itself, you could tell the core of the game is good. Anthem. Anthem was good. But they put the cart before the horse, right? They were pitching that game for what it was going to be, and not what it was. If they just focused on that game, think about this. If they just focused on Anthem being a single-player game, same with Marvel's Avengers, just a single-player game, and then they worked on the live service aspect after that. Just, you bought Anthem, you played through the campaign, good campaign, didn't break, right? All the stuff worked. There was full loadouts and legendary gear and everything. The game was complete. Then they could have made a live service aspect. But no, that's not what they did. They had a really good core gameplay mechanics of that game, and then nothing. The foundation was just garbage. The core was there, the foundation wasn't. Right? They built a beautiful building with a good structure on a faulty base. Is Outriders making more? No, Outriders was a single-player game. Outriders was never a live service game. Yeah, Borderlands. Right? Borderlands was a good single-player game, and then they sold you DLC afterwards. Great thing about Borderlands was that the structure and the foundation were great. Everybody says Anthem would still be shit, even if it was a single player, because it's only baked for 18 months. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They had a good core, but the foundation was absolute crap. So it wouldn't have been shit if they actually made the game and weren't banking on the live service aspect of it. Here's this beautiful mansion on the side of a cliff where mudslides happen, right? But People Can Fly, are making an Xbox game. Right, because, well, what was it, Square Enix? Was it Square Enix they partnered up with, Mo? Stole their money, right? Basically, they didn't get anything back. That whole thing, right? Like Square Enix, get this shit, right? This is how I think it went down. We don't know for a fact. But pre-orders, right? Because Square Enix was putting the money up front for People Can Fly. Okay? They didn't promote that game very well. Okay? They didn't. You didn't hear a peep from that game until it was too late. Then in November, the year before it came out, right? They started murmuring of what Outriders was. They showed it off. Pre-orders didn't do very well. And in February, right before it came out, Square Enix signed a deal with Xbox to put it on Game Pass. And then the developers came out and said, please don't cancel your orders. Please buy the game. Okay? Because that deal that Square Enix made with Xbox was behind their back. And that's why they didn't make any money. Right? Square Enix fucking took that money and ran. That's why People Can Fly. I was like, well, wait a minute. Let's get rid of these guys and we'll just team up with Xbox. Again, I'm just speculating. I don't know if that's what went down, but it sure does seem like that, doesn't it? It's happening as we speak. A mansion on the coast of California on the cliff. Erosion is happening. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful house. Built on a foundation of shit. Both Anthem and Marvel's Avengers are both that mansion on the side of the cliff. Okay? And Suicide Squad right now is the building next door. And right now, they're making pillars to make sure the foundation's good, or the erosion just takes it away and it becomes one of those other games. Beyonder says the No Man's Sky converting to live service model is what saved the game. Well, I actually, what I think saved the game, Beyonder, if you remember, when it came out, it sold a shit ton of games. Then it dropped off a cliff, right? And what sold them, they went dead. They went dead quiet. Sony is the ones that helped them publish that game, and they had a contract for 2 years. Okay, so they didn't say anything for 2 years. Once that contract ended and they came out and then started improving the game, I don't want to say them going to a live service model is what saved them, but getting out there where they could actually do stuff where they weren't under contract anymore with the publisher, because they now publish their own, right? Hello Games is their own thing. That's what saved them. They were dead quiet for 2 years. From launch to 2 years, they were dead quiet. They said it was Game Pass's fault. Sure, but Square Enix signed that deal. People Can Fly didn't sign that deal. Yeah, that's what helped them. Sean, stop talking. Yeah. Live service didn't save No Man's Sky. The devs having some self-respect saved that game. Hope Arrowhead does the same. We were talking a little bit in Discord before the show started. There was a tweet that was going around saying that they were being sold, or Sony was buying them. And then the developer, the lead, came out and said it's fake, right? And me and Krebsy were going back and forth. I do believe that Arrowhead could get bought out by Sony. It would be a smart move for Sony. But it also would look really shitty right now if Sony bought a studio when they just laid off a shit ton of people, right? And now, right, if Sony wanted to buy them, they could have bought them ahead of time, but they didn't. And now it could backfire on them because Arrowhead is being so successful with Helldivers 2. Yes, Sony owns the IP, but Arrowhead is the developers, and they're making a shit ton of money, right? They're making so much money. In my opinion, they don't have to sell their company or get bought out. They could use that money to break free, and their next game down the line, they could probably publish it themselves. But wait, didn't Microsoft also lay off 1,900? Water, you do understand the difference between a $3 trillion company and a $50 billion company, right? Why does the number matter? Because Sony couldn't afford it. 1,900 is bigger than what was it, 900? I think it was 900, wasn't it? No Man's Sky isn't live service, just consistent patches to finish the game, and then free goodwill updates. So it is a live service game, though. They're constantly putting out more content. I don't know if that's. I mean, I see what you're saying, Jones, but that's live service. It wasn't all redundancy, though, Water. Well, that's not true, Dave. Right? Dave says, yeah, the $3 trillion company shouldn't have to lay off. All companies lay off people. All companies are the same. All companies want to make more money. A company is not a person. A company is an entity. And entities have to keep making money. And the people that run those companies want to make more money. So the $3 trillion company and the $50 billion company are on the same path. Okay? They want to make the most money as possible. It is, but it isn't. Maybe we should call something else. It's special. I mean, live service doesn't mean battle passes or anything like that, right? Live service just means a game being supported, right? Constantly new content coming into the game that they're supporting. The company's supporting, and they're adding more content. It's a live service game. Games as service, which is sort of like live service, but games as service is charging for stuff, right? Where they're charging the battle passes, the microtransactions, the stores. Right? Like live service, I think, is the correct term. I think live service has melded into what games, gas is. Games of a service, right? Live service is in part of that, but not the same as that. I can agree with there, but ain't no one doing what No Man's Sky is doing. Grounded is adding stuff in the game. Maybe not as big, but Obsidian with Grounded is adding stuff. Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is adding stuff. They don't charge. Right? Now, Sea of Thieves also has a Emporium, and they're getting that microtransaction stuff. So you're all right as far as no one's doing what No Man's Sky is doing because they're not charging. But Sea of Thieves, well, Grounded is not charging. Grand Theft Auto, though, still has... They still have that there's no microtransactions in No Man's Sky at all, Krebsy. At all. There's no microtransactions at all. Grand Theft Auto has microtransactions. Now, Minecraft has microtransactions. There's literally no microtransactions in No Man's Sky. I think Jones is right. I think No Man's Sky is like this unicorn in the... I'm sure there's someone else out there that's doing something similar. Like, there's no microtransactions whatsoever in No Man's Sky. You can't purchase anything. You could do quests inside the game to get in-game currency to go to that special section inside the space station. Grounded has no microtransactions. But they're also, just to make the difference though, Jones, they're also not making massive updates. I mean, they have had updates, but there's no massive updates as like what No Man's Sky is doing yet. But in the 1 year that's been out and out for release, they've had added a bunch of stuff with no microtransactions. Well, first of all, we're not arguing. We're arguing content delivery, not microtransactions of games. No, we're having a conversation about No Man's Sky, if it's a live service or games of service, and what No Man's Sky is doing in the live service space is different than everybody else. There's no other game that we can think of that comes out with as many updates as No Man's Sky has, which is over 17 or 20 since in 7 years, and has never charged 1 penny more than what the game is. You're not paying a monthly fee. You're not getting a battle pass. All MMOs are live service games. That's correct. MMOs have always been a live service. Then they converted, right? Beyonder? They converted. But there's free updates, and then there's also paid, right? Like once a year, World of Warcraft would come out with their expansion, or Star Wars Galaxies back in the day would come out with the expansion, or Ultima Online, or Evercrack, or whatever, you know what I mean? EverQuest. I call it Evercrack. So MMOs are considered gas. Well, over the years, you paid a monthly fee to pay those, right? That was a live service game. And then you would pay for the expansion that would come out, but you were paying for server space. But now, since then, like Elder Scrolls Online, you pay nothing, right? You don't pay a monthly fee if you don't want to. You can just play that game Same with Star Wars, The Old Republic. You can just play the game. And then if you want extra storage or whatever else, nobody's doing what No Man's Sky is doing. I can agree with that, what Jones said. Nobody is doing... The couple of games that I've referenced, Grounded, they're not doing as much as what No Man's Sky is doing, but they're not charging for anything. You just buy the game if you want to buy the game, or you play it on Game Pass. No microtransactions, nothing's happening there. Sea of Thieves would be the same, but they're charging with what's it called? The Emporium store. There's microtransactions in there. I'm trying to think if there's another... I mean, Helldivers is really close, but you can pay for microtransactions. There's no microtransactions whatsoever in No Man's Sky. Like, zero. Quite crazy, actually. Like, how do they do it? I mean, they're only 25 people, 26 people. Think how much money they're making, or made, that they can stay afloat and make multiple games and never charge. Just, you want to play No Man's Sky? You buy it right now, $40. Whatever it is. Yeah, I won't be live. We're probably getting off here in about 15, 20 minutes. Joel's not considered a person. He's the death dealer. I'm excited to see what happens with Helldivers, with all the stuff that they're talking about. Possibilities. Yeah, they're everywhere, Ghost. They're everywhere. You can play it in the meta, right? Yeah, every single console possible, right? Every single. Is it on Luna? I'm not sure. Okay, it's on PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Mac OS, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, the cloud, Microsoft Windows, and Mac operating systems. It's not on Luna. Get on that. You gotta get on that streaming service. You gotta get on Amazon. The crazy part is I can play it through my MetaQuest. But how do they do that? Right? Let's have a conversation about that. How does a company of 25 people, okay, make it on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different platforms and still have a quality game? I thought exclusives was for quality insurance. They're literally breaking all the stereotypes, right? I thought exclusives were the king of all great content. You have to have a studio only work on one platform. Meanwhile, No Man's Sky with 25 people. Like, hold my beer. Hold my beer. Not all content delivery is attached to microtransactions. Fortnite doesn't make money off the seasons. Fortnite microtransactions, cosmetics, and cosmetics isn't content. Well, they make money based on, well, for instance, they're not making money off for your content, but they put in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing in, and that's like a separate battle pass that they make money on, right? You're still playing their game to go do different missions and different things to unlock certain things there, so that would be considered content. for that. Not the skins themselves, but the stuff that's in that specialty battle pass that they have, right? So I'm going to take the thing that you just set on the table. I'm going to pull that off the table because that's exactly what that is. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is to bring people into the game, and they buy the bundle of the skins, but there's also physical things that you do in the game, mission-based type of stuff to unlock certain things on their battle pass. Is there not? Go kill this many people. Go do that. Go find this. I don't know, Fortnite crew, which the sub-service probably makes a good amount of money. Oh, true. There's also that sub-service that they have, right? The Fortnite crew. Yep. I wonder if they don't even share that number. I wonder how many people do that. Again, I don't think I'm still thinking as I'm talking. I don't think there's one other company that's doing what No Man's Sky is doing, what Hello Games is doing. As fast as they bring the content out, right? As fast as they bring the content out, multiple content drops per year, no microtransactions, no battle pass, nothing, and 9 platforms. Come on, Shadow White. What is that? Never knew that Fortnite had a sub thing? Oh, yeah. It came in like 2 years ago, 3 years ago? How old is that? December 2020. Fortnite Crew subscription service launched December of 2020. 4 years. 4 years. And they are making money double fold, right? Epic is making money based on signing licenses, okay? Getting Star Wars and DC and Marvel and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and all this other stuff, right? They just had a Mercedes inside the game, right? So they're getting money from outside sources as well. No Man's Sky is not doing that. But not only are they charging companies money, but they're also charging you the money as well. I guess No Man's Sky could have like the Coca-Cola ship or, you know, something outside to keep afloat, but they're not. They literally just make a game and they sell the game. If everyone could do what No Man's Sky is doing, gaming would be a wonderful place. $1.5 billion, Eclipse. Think about that. And that's not even for their own game. That's for their game to be within their game. Their universe that they're building inside of a game that's already created. 1.5 billion. Meanwhile, people are going, well, that's crazy. Right? That's crazy because Spider-Man cost $310 million. Technically, the Disney thing cost $1.5 billion. How much do you think those microtransactions are going to be inside Fortnite? Right? We already know that the Marvel skins and stuff are already more expensive than normal skins that they make. Come on, Hemi. I think what Helldivers is doing should be what microtransactions and stuff should be. Okay. And even then, some of them are like $4, $5 for one piece of gear. But it's the entire outfit except the helmet. Right? So between the helmet and the thing, it still could be upwards to $5, $6. That's a microtransaction. That's still not micro enough. Yeah, I can't think of any other company that just gives out free content. The only other thing I could think of is Grounded, and I think they're done making more stuff for Grounded. Micro should be micro, right? $1, $2, maybe. See, I'm in the mindset of if I could charge, okay, like for instance, the thing I want to create, I want to open up a miniature golf course where I'm at, right? The area that we're in, because of Disney and stuff, they charge like $15, $17, right? For a mini golf game, right? Tiger Woods' place, Pop Stroke, charges $25, but it's unlimited, right, for the day. But you're not going to be there all day, right? Some people might, but whatever. Right, $25. Doesn't matter if it's a kid or adult, $25, right? That's because they got to pay a shit ton of rent on that property. So they got to make that money, and they want to make more margin. We own the land, right? We own the land. So if I opened up a mini golf place, I would literally charge $8 to $10. And someone's like, well, you could charge a lot more. Yeah, but I would get a lot more people. So in that mindset, I'm for, if you have a microtransaction and you have 1 million people playing the game, right? And with this stat that everyone always throws around, the 20% makes 80%, right? I would rather have this 70, 80% make the 80%. Because in the long run, more people would come back and they go, oh, it's $1, $2. They would come back and spend that. Instead of the one guy that spends $10,000, right? Okay, I would let more people enjoy the game and buy stuff and be like, oh, I got $5. I'll give you $5 because your prices are reasonable. 30 wanted to do an IRL mini golf. No, I really, honestly, Altern, I want to own my own miniature golf place. I honestly do. That is a dream of mine, to open up my own mini golf course. Because there's nothing for people to do around my area. There's 7 schools. 7. There's not one thing close to us. The closest thing for kids to do, the closest miniature golf place to us, is 15 miles away. Right? Valheim. Are they doing massive updates for Valheim? Krebsy? I know there's a mod that's coming out. Did you guys see this Valheim mod they're coming out with? The Valheim mod community. One guy went back and did the whole thing for Valheim. It's amazing. Yeah, but Sarge, when they do the deals like that, right, they charge $20 for your first game, right? And then if you buy right away, they give you if you don't want to play, you can buy a second round for half the price, right? So if it's $17 for one game, and you want to do your second game for another 18 holes, they charge $10, right? So it's technically $27, right? So it's really like $13.50, right? They can give it for a cheaper price. They don't, because they can. You're right. The market bears what the market bears. Because they have a closed, because everyone's competing for the higher price, right? I would personally rather have my course filled with people that can afford it for their family, and they also buy a drink or buy something where it's in a reasonable price. I don't need to make all the money. Right? Because once you put your money up, you can never go down. Not really. They kind of stopped supporting it right now. I think they're taking the time to cause a no. Let me try to find that Valheim modder. This gets me pumped. I watched it the other day and I was like, damn, I want to go back and play it. Let me see. 11 months ago. No, that's not it. Mike just wants the Thanos line, and now the rest looking over his golf course. Yeah, right. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it looks pretty sick. I can't find it now. Asmongold watched it last week, I believe. Let me see if I can find it on. Let me see if I can just find his. He does so many freaking videos. I don't even know if I'll be able to find it. Decent. It's a lot of last epoch stuff. World of Warcraft. Exile. Diablo. Let's see. Valheim. Okay, here's it is 5 days ago.
An entire MMO inside of Valheim. And they're making like actual like cities, side quests, bosses, extra bosses, obviously, like weapons, classes, everything. It is insane.
Now this is a mod, by the way. This is the mod.
There was an idea to bring together a group of people to see if we could become.
Oh, let me see. Does he have his
something more?
Let's watch this. 12 minutes instead of watching his thing.
There was an idea to bring together a group of people to see if we could become something more.
Wait till you see this.
Over the course of a year, a few loose ideas had slowly blossomed into something much greater. For a while, 9byte and I had been discussing combining multiple builds into a narrative-driven map. But he had just learned of a team with a similar idea who were looking for some builders. After speaking with them, we learned that our goals were closely aligned and agreed to the project. Now this was more than just an idea. Now it was time to finally get to work.
This reminds me of when Minecraft came out and people started building shit in Minecraft and then making it their own little game and stuff like that. This is amazing.
As you saw in 9byte's video, I'd chosen to tackle the swamp whilst he worked on the other cities. The vision was of a fortified township that once fell to a mysterious plague, now infested with corruption. First, I would need to clear and flatten a large area to help plan the layout and position of buildings. With the ground level of the city raised above the swamp waters, I could add
Oh, and the editing in this video? Primo, dude. Primo.
undulations and crevices back in. One final step would be weaving in some swamp
Yeah, it's for the PC version.
assets like trees and
For now.
roots, which had grown over, around, and through this long-abandoned city.
How awesome that looks. Look how badass that looks. Right? And this is a game that's been out, what, 2 years now? And then modders are making it even better. They're making it literally into an MMO.
A once mighty city, now a decaying husk lost to time. What blight took root here? What plague befell its people? They say answers await you in the Forgotten Fen, but you may find more than you bargained for. All of the main cities were now complete, save for the Mistlands, which we planned to do together as the final build. I now turned my attention to the class-themed points of interest, drawing inspiration from each archetype's abilities. First was the Duelist's Lodge, where brothers in arms would train together and test their martial prowess. An outpost that stood watch over the road, complete with an archery range and a central arena fit for a duel. A grand
Rose is bored by the people building it. I mean, we're not even talking about the game, Rose. We're talking about the person that modded the game to make it into an MMO.
temple is home to the monks, whose favor can be yours if order can be restored. Not so easily found is the Guild of the Rogues, a den of thieves, gamblers, and assassins who lurk beneath the streets. The Council of Mages look down from their impossible towers, closely guarding the secrets of the arcane arts. Earning the trust of the Metavokers means navigating a labyrinth of unreality. A twisting network of floating platforms, invisible bridges, and cryptic puzzles.
What happened to the railgun, Jason?
This small patch of black forest surrounded by swamp was ideal for the Berserker. You'll have to battle your way through the war camp, past barbarian huts as you ascend the hill, to the very top for a showdown with the chieftain himself. Finally was the Enchanter's Laboratory, a foundry of magical weapons and artifacts, yet a little lacking in the maintenance department of late. With all of the class-themed POIs now completed, I sent the world file back to 9byte and we started work on the Mistlands. I created a selection of hulls, masts, and rigging, whilst 9byte worked on pirate houses and workshops. We found a perfect spot in a narrow canyon and added a giant skull you would sail under for the entrance.
Do these people have day jobs? Well, they're probably like 10 years old, and they've coded all this by themselves, Dolphin. I have no idea.
Emerging into a twisting canal lined with taverns and jetties, whilst the floating plunder washes against submerged shipwrecks. Here you'll find the pirate's life in full swing, search for treasure lost in nearby lagoons, or sing a shanty or two at the shivered timber. At the far end of the bay, a giant galleon awaits, pointing the way towards the final boss of the game. Speaking of bosses, each of them would also be needing their own arena. We wanted to stay true to the original locations, but add our own twist or upgrade. I don't want to show too much of these, but creating the centerpieces for them was a lot of fun. For Eikthyr, a set of huge stag antlers was created from these roots. For Yagluth, I recreated his trophy with some Mistland cliffs and rusty swords for the crown. And for Moda, I made an icy adaptation of the wings from my good pal, Deathwing. Every location was then connected with roads and bridges, which 9byte did an incredible job on. Whilst he grinded those out, I worked on some extra encounters that we could place along the journey. A mysterious shipwreck, a wretched sea monster, a beacon in the mountains. I made a few small wagon dioramas, which 9byte then converted into a series of ambushed caravans, before he added even more encounters like secluded shacks.
It's cool that they all work together and like one would work on something and then one would implement it in something somewhere else.
And treetop watch posts. At last, we were done with the builds. Or so we thought. We now sent the Worldfire over to Atlas, who could then begin adapting the builds for the other version of the map. That's right, there's two versions. Let me explain the differences between them. Ours is a 1 to 10 player linear playthrough, with the builds and landscapes as you see them in these videos. It will require no mods and be crossplay compatible.
That's pretty intense, right?
These videos.
So
it will require no.
You could play just their version, what you just saw, up to 10 people, linear playthrough, right? Just a regular game. No mods required, Xbox compatible. Okay?
Mods and be crossplay compatible. The second version is an up to 100 player MMO style experience, with the builds adapted into a custom world generation by Atlas to suit the increased player count. This will be fully modded with quests, loot, and NPCs to create a full RPG experience.
That's what gets me excited, right? The MMO aspect of it is what gets me excited. Because the game when you're playing by yourself, it gets pretty boring. But now having an economy, now having other people on there, right? PvP, different factions.
So what about our version? Will that have quests, NPCs, and so on? Yes, actually. Over the last month, we've been integrating these throughout the world to tell the story and bring these places to life. But wait, quests and NPCs? I thought you said it was no mods. It is. Through some clever tinkering, we've been able to create all kinds of gameplay systems with vanilla mechanics. Let me give you some examples. In every major location, you'll meet several NPCs. In Wanderer's Rest, one such NPC will teach you about the quest log. By accessing your compendium, you can keep track of your current objectives, just like you would in a...
They're just using the regular vanilla game to make all that.
A regular RPG. You'll notice our quests are prefixed with this symbol for easier management. Some quests have a trigger system. Back in the Forgotten Fen, you'll meet a ghost whose memory is fragmented and confused. As you uncover clues to the mystery of what happened here, the fog clouding his memories will recede. We've got effect zones. Want to go searching through this goop? Well, then you're slimed. We've got treasure hunting, immersive hover text. We've got traps. And a lot more. So we've been weaving those in throughout the map, and in some cases that meant more builds to facilitate the new quest lines.
Oh, here we go again.
Some locations were expanded, others got completely new areas, including custom dungeons. Our next steps will be finishing up the final mechanics for some locations, before adding in the enemies, the loot, and then the final touches and testing. We are expecting to be finished around the end of February, when everyone will be able to play the full release. Stay tuned to both mine and 9byte's YouTube and Discord, as we'll be posting announcements there when the time comes, along with more videos about this project. For everything relating to the MMO version, check out Gathalion's Discord, and Atlas will have a video detailing his process soon. This has been a ridiculously enormous project. I'm extremely proud of what we've achieved and so excited for everyone to finally get their hands on it. Thank you to Mr. Gold for bringing so many extra sets of eyes to this project. We're both eternally grateful for that. For now though, I've got to get back to work on the map. Until next time.
That's crazy, right? That's absolutely crazy what they've done with that game. Yeah, but that's what mods do, Z. Right? It's a mod. There's no difference in what they're doing and what anyone else has done for Fallout over the years. And that's not why people are losing their job, right? They still have to purchase the game, right? That version of the game is still there that they have to purchase. Then you have to download the mod. That's the beautiful part of, once I buy your game, I should be able to do whatever I want with it. Right? Especially on PC, if it's open source. He just explained that they did all this with all the base stuff inside the game. I forgot to talk about this. This is the multiverses. Came out yesterday and said testing 1 2 1 2 3. Right? So it's coming back. We talked about this like 2 weeks ago, I think. We don't know when it's coming back, but it seems like it's coming back pretty soon, right? It'll probably come out for the summer. I would assume, or maybe spring break. Maybe it'll come out during spring break, which is right around the corner. But maybe the summer, because that's when most of the kids that play it, most of the people that have time to play it, would have time to play it. I mean, it closed down in June last year, June of 2023. Maybe they open it back up in April, May. I enjoyed that game. You can still play it, but you just can't play online. All right, tonight I think we're going to be playing some Division 2 with Sarge. We're going to finish out. We played a couple missions last night after stream. We'll probably finish out the next part, a couple missions to finish out. What's it called? The weekly, the monthly, whatever, the 2 weeks story progression. The next manhunt is what we'll do. Well, why does Vanilla Game not have it? Employees have to follow other visions, is what I meant. I think their vision, they built a game they wanted it big, right? Maybe they didn't want to make it into an MMO. But then when other people see it, they're like, oh man, this would be a great game to be an MMO. Right? They still have their vision. It's not like Valheim was with a conglomerate company. It was a small studio that made the game they wanted to make, which is still there. See, Rose, I like the characters in multiverses. I haven't played a game, like fighting game like that, in years. It got me back just because of the IPs that were in it. I love using like Batman and like Shaggy and Wonder Woman were like my three main. Oh, and Tasmanian Devil. I mean, for instance, when No Man's Sky, since we were talking about No Man's Sky, right? No Man's Sky, when the game first launched, they didn't put in where you could fly low to the ground, right? You could only fly in the top tier, right? People forget about that 7 years later, but you couldn't fly low. A mod came in and did it. Is that breaking what the studio their vision was? No, they probably had to cut it because they couldn't do it, and then when someone else did it, they're like, we should put that in. I wouldn't say way better. I mean, each their own. If you like that IP, right? If you like Smash Brothers and you like Mario characters and whoever else they have in that, I don't see why it wouldn't be way better, right? Like I said, the only reason I like the multiverses is because I like the IPs. Hell, you give me that same game with, I don't know, Teenage Turtles, Transformers, Mask, G.I. Joe. I might like it better because I know those IPs and I like that. Like, how come we don't have a G.I. Joe fighting game? Because there's not a market for it. Because the people that like that are older. Younger kids don't even know what G.I. Joe is. Yet there's that beat 'em up coming out soon. When does that drop, by the way? When does that G.I. Joe... It wasn't Operation Blackout. What's the other one called? Wrath of Cobra? Is that what it is? Yeah, the Wrath of Cobra. It's just like the Teenage Ninja Turtle game, but just a side scroller. Right? This is just stupid fun. I think I might pick this up. I think I might pick this up. I love how the trailer's like the cartoon, and then you go to the game, it's like this shitty looking old Nintendo. Come on. Come on. This is great. You like it or you don't. That's what it is. It's for you or it's not. There's no like, I don't know about this. Like, I'm in. I'm in or you're out. This is straight up Teenage Ninja Turtles with G.I. Joe. And I'm here for it. When does that come out? Is there a release date for that? It just says out in 2024. I don't think you can play as Storm Shadow, but you can play as Snake Eyes. with anime cutscenes. I hope those the cutscenes. I'm totally in for that. Maybe they'll sell Storm Shadow. Maybe they'll sell Storm Shadow later for microtransaction. All right. That's going to do it for me for today. Appreciate you guys coming out and having a conversation with me about the topics that we talked about. We talked about Sony. We talked about MLB 24. We talked about multiverses. We talked about Warner Brothers. And we talked about Valheim. We'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, for more video game play. We're going to be playing some Division 2 with Sarge this evening. And then we'll be back tomorrow for some morning show for some more news. And then we'll be back for the podcast tomorrow evening, Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. Other than that, appreciate it very much. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.